What's up everyone, this is GTR here, former Pro League, SSL and GSL commentator over in Korea. I'm back in Australia right now, in Sydney, finishing up my degree, and I've been playing a lot of ShieldBattery lately. It's the new platform for pretty much the intention in the end is for players to be able to play against each other in regards to stuff such as matchmaking, custom maps, etc. It's just basically an easier way of playing Brood War. And the closed beta is up and running, and it's a pretty good platform. And I just want to do this replay recording. It's a game between myself as the Protoss and I believe a TL writer called nbaker, and the map is Circuit Breaker. And basically the purpose of this is to just go through how Brood War works, my mindset while playing this game, and just basically show how much strategic depth there is to this game. So we'll get started and we'll proceed with the game. Alright, so I'm spawning here on the bottom right, yellow Protoss, and my opponent is nbaker. He's spawning here as the Teal Zerg on the bottom left. So let's have a quick look at Circuit Breaker as a map. So unlike Fighting Spirit, where you have this natural, which is obviously common, coming down from the ramp, your third base is actually a mineral only, which changes a lot of the strategies that you want to do on this map. Generally, Fighting Spirit works out in that you take your third base quite comfortably on a high ground, and you also get the third gas, which is very important to go into the mid and late game. But with Fighting Spirit, with its third base being a mineral only, as I said before, it forces you to play the game differently. It forces you to adapt to the fact that you're only working off two base coming into the mid game. And taking these gas bases are very important. That being said, also taking another base is very important, because once you take the main base and you get it up and running with a few defenses such as Templar, such as Zealots, etc., or for the Zerg lurkers and Sunkens and Spore colonies, I can't say crawlers there, it's really hard to penetrate until you get harassment such as Overlords for the Zergs, or shuttles I should say. So let's just have a look at the map. You've got your natural here, you've got these two bridges which generally you don't want to fight over, because if you engage, the AI will just screw up and it'll be very hard to attack. 99% of the time you would want to be approaching from here, where this big plateau is, or just in the middle of the map. Alright, so enough about the map, let's talk about the build orders that we're both doing here. Let's have some water. Okay, so Forge, Fast Expand, pretty much the same as it is in StarCraft 2. You get the Forge at the front, you get the cannons up, you get the gateway. Basically just try and create a tight wall. You don't want to completely lock yourself inside though, because you want to obviously get units out, but a tight enough wall where there's actually around 1 or 2 hexes that your units can get through. The risk of having more hexes that Zerglings can go through is that Zerglings will go through here much easier than, say, you wall this off with one pylon and then you have this hex. But later on into the game, where Zergling run-bys don't really matter too much, you want to have the 2 hexes so that units such as Dragoons get out a bit easy. And note my gateway placement here. I'm quite unhappy with this wall in. And as you can see here, with this initial attack, the Zerglings are just running by because there's a lot of space. I use this probe with Stop Micro to try and get that cannon to take as many hits as possible. And in the end, only 3 Zerglings get in, which is not game. It's not going to kill me, but it's quite annoying. As you can see here, I'm just skating my probes trying to get the hits onto these Zerglings, and I already killed one already, but in return he's gotten around three or four probes. So luckily his drone count is pretty low. It's at 12 right now, and my probe count is at 15 now, but I'm not that far behind. And now that he has only this one Zergling, I'm pretty comfortable once this Zealot comes out. I can just easily deflect this Zergling. Back to what I was saying before the run by is that in Brood War, wall-ins are very hard to do. The rule of thumb is when you're walling in as a Protoss, you'd want to get the forge below the gateway, as this is pretty much a very tight wall. I'm not really familiar with wall-ins on this map, so I kind of screwed up and placed the forge here. In hindsight, I probably would have placed the forge maybe here, and then the gateway up over towards here, and then put the cannons here. And now I've got the Cybernace core up. Notice I've taken this quick assimilator at the expansion, pretty much when the expansion nexus comes up. This is because I want to get the tech units out, such as the Corsairs, the upgrades, and the Templar tech as soon as possible, so I can start maintaining presence around the map. So it's very important to get this gas up. If you want to focus on mineral heavy builds, such as quick Zealot legs with additional gateways, then it's not really necessary to get the second assimilator up. You'd want to delay that, because when you think about it, you've got 3 probes on the assimilator, and you've also got the assimilator itself, which is 100 minerals, so that those could be invested into just putting those probes on the minerals and getting more efficiency out of it. And generally, when you do this build, you'd want to just keep continuously pumping Zealots from the gateway, but I decided to get a Dragoon after I believe it was my second Zealot, or maybe it was my first, I don't remember exactly, but I saw there was a Dragoon here, so killing the Dragoon would be a nice boon to the game, to let it go to my advantage. So I decided to get the Dragoon and take out the Overlord there. In hindsight, he probably would have wanted it to be here. Actually, he probably wanted it to be here, because he really needs to see if I've taken a gas or not, and how much I've mined from my expansion, because there's no way I can punish him having his Overlord here until I get my Corsair. And even then, with my first Corsair, 99.9% of the time I'm going to be scouting him, because I have no idea what he's doing right now. And yeah, here's my first Corsair. I see that he hasn't taken his expansion gas yet. He's getting additional hatcheries, and he's just droning up right now. And note how he's decided to drone up instead of actually get any Scourge, so he doesn't really feel threatened by this Corsair. And he's also adding these additional hatcheries. I want to turn on the music a bit. Yeah, this is very stock standard right now. Getting quick Hydralisk then, probably going to add some evolution chambers here from the Zerg. Myself, I'm actually getting quick +1 with my air units. I really want to get a steady Corsair count, because I scouted the fact that he didn't get his second gas. I know that he's not going to be able to invest much of his own gas into Scourge, despite the the resource count. Scourge is actually quite a very gas intensive sink to have on your economy, so it looks like in this case he's actually gonna use the gas on getting the lurker tech as well as the quick upgrades. And yeah, had to pause because I accidentally pressed my Korean button on my keyboard. And I've gathered enough intel, not only with that initial Corsair that scouted these bases, but also with this Dark Templar that's going around the map, that I don't feel threatened at all. So I'm just going to take this third base relatively quickly without even applying too much pressure on the map. There is this Zergling run by that comes around, but knowing that there isn't any Overlords around, I just cancel it and let this Dark Templar take some hits and then just rebuild it. Because I'm not that desperate for this Nexus to come up. I just want to get it up so it just forces the move out of the Zerg player. And the move he decides to do is get these Zerglings and actually start getting units. It's actually really perplexing how he hasn't taken his second gas yet, so he's just very adamant on getting drones up right now. And I've actually got a superior probe count to him. And now with my first Templar out, I've also got Storm coming in for these Hydralisks if he decides to attack. And even then I've got this Dark Templar, I've got a couple of Zealots with +1. So he doesn't have the +1 Carapace yet, so those Zerglings will actually die in 2 hits rather than 3 hits until he gets the +1 Carapace, or I get... No, okay, so basically the rule of thumb is if the Zealot has +1 more weapon attack than the Zerg, then it will always kill the Zerglings in 2 hits. So if I have +1 weapons and the Zerg has +2 Carapace, it will still take 3 hits. If my math does calculates that correctly. I'm calculating in my head right now, actually. Okay, no, sorry, it only applies for the, when it's the +1 upgrade for the Zealots. Now he's going to try and do an attack here because he needs to do something to this third. He needs to apply some sort of pressure. But I've got my cannons up in time. I've also got the High Templar to get the Storm out. There's no need for this High Templar to be part of the main army, so just keep it here, camp, because I know that he's going to just be running by. And these Zealots are probably just going to clean up these Hydralisks if my memory calls me correctly. I've got this probe sitting here. Oh, got this probe sitting here. I really need to take my 3rd gas before he takes his 4th gas, or else I'm just going to fall far too behind. At the moment though, he is supply blocked. Look at the work count, he's got 43 drones, I got 44 probes, so very even. Gotta remember though, in Brood War, you don't need to fully saturate your minerals. The only reason why you keep pumping probes and SCVs is that you'll need to transfer them over to new bases. It saves you from rebuilding at your nexuses. Yeah, so got this group of Corsairs here, and the purpose of this is just to deny any sort of overlords from being around the map. If we just look at the nbaker's vision, it doesn't have anything at all. It's got all these overlords just sitting here. Doesn't even know what's happening at this base or this base. It's actually taking his top right base as well as this top left base, and if I'm not aware that he's taking his top right base over up in here, but if he gets that up and running and I have no idea about it, I pretty much lose the game, because that's a free gas that he's taken, and that's the gas that he's taking away from me. It's very easy to take this space if he gets this up and running, and the only gases that I get to work with will be this 3 o'clock base and this 6 o'clock base. And the problem with that is he can easily just do multi-pronged harassments from this area and this area, so it's very hard for me to move my army around. Yep, so now he's got this 3rd base up, he's got this gas up and running. He can start to take his upgrades, and also, as I said before, he's going to take these bases. And at this point, I only know that he has this base up and running, and he's probably taking his 4th base already. So my mindset is that I need to do some sort of tangible damage to kill this 3rd, and basically just cripple his economy. So, you know, he has to work off these 2 bases. But what I see is that he's got a very good defense. He's got all these lurkers, he's got a few Zerglings, a few Hydralisks, and moving onto these bridges would just be suicide given how good lurkers are against narrow bridges. So at the moment I'm just trying to skirmish across the map, trying to just pick off stray units, especially stopping from moving through these bridges. But the problem is I have to jockey back and forth to prevent him from doing that. You see here my Corsair's confirmed that he has taken that 4th, but I still don't know that he's taken his 5th base up here, so a bit of concern. And while I'm doing that, I'm just using these units to, as I said, just jockey back and forth from these bridges and allow me to take this 3 o'clock base, which is going to be very important for this game. You've got this Dark Templar here, just in case he wants to take this natural only. I don't think he actually takes it at all in this game, but it's just to be safe, just to make sure that he's not moving his army through here. And knowing that he hasn't actually taken this natural only down here, my next plan is to actually take this 6 o'clock base and just defend it with some cannons and reavers. Alright, so he's got his hive tech up, and now we're approaching the late stages of the game. With this hive tech, I need to do something soon before he just gets a huge bank and just overruns me. So look, here I'm just looking to approach this base from the top side, because there's slightly more surface area to work with, but my unit composition, Zealots, Archons, Templar, is not really cognitive to dealing with this amount of lurkers. So I think in this moment I just go there and realize I'm not going to break it. Even with these Templar with Psionic Storm, it's just suicide. And note that I'm still using these Corsairs to move around the map. I'm not just leaving them there in my main base. I kill this Scourge, and I use these Corsairs actively to find out what he's doing. I see the Defiler mount, and it just clicks in my head, okay, I gotta stop. I should not get Dragoons anymore. I should just switch to Zealot, Templar, Reaver, because... Oh, and Archon as well, because those are the units that are most effective under Dark Swarm. Because Zealots, obviously the melee, Archons, they do splash damage, and Reavers also do splash damage. And still, I'm just moving back and forth, and I'm just preventing him from moving out on the map, because he knows if he just fights me in this open space, he's just gonna lose. So I'm gonna try and use these Dragoons to help break this base, but I don't think I do too well with it. I think I actually lose. I think this is one of the battles that, in my head, I felt, oh crap, I lost this battle, I'm gonna lose the game. And this is one of the difficulties with Brood War, is that because you're limited to 12 units per group's hotkey group, you're very prone to, especially at lower levels like mine, where you're just going to do a lot of mechanical errors. So, if we look at my hotkey setup, 1 is just random stuff, 2 is random stuff, 3 is random stuff, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And yeah, I do some nice storms, but I'm not really sure if that's enough. So I just moved back there because I think if I just move any further, I'm just going to overextend. I don't really have the bulk of my army with me anymore. I know he's getting units from his hatcheries. And okay, here also I find out that he's probably taking his top right base as well. So my head's just panicking right now because I've let him take in this base for so long and I wasn't even aware of it. But at least while he's killing this base, it gives me time to take this base at the 6 o'clock, which he probably has no idea it's happening right now. And as I said before, the third base being a mineral only, how it changes your game. I have a ton of gateways that I'm working with, and also I have a lot of cannons that I've put down. I've got this base, which is very nicely defended until Dark Swarm comes out, and I'm finally mobbed this up. But the question is, can I kill this base with this group of units? So it pretty much hinges on how well I control it. Get this nice storm off. All my zealots are gone, and I need to focus this Nidus now, because without that Nidus now, he's not going to be able to reinforce. And I think I give him too much time to get the Nidus now out. Yep, so basically mobs up with this army. I get the canal, but I lose the majority of my army. And now, look at the supply counts, 107 to 97. Contrary to what it is in StarCraft 2, it's fine to be ahead in supply count as the Protoss against Zerg, with the way Zerg units work. They're much more brittle, but they cost less supply. Also, they don't have that amazing drone count that you need in StarCraft 2. That being said though, I lost, what was it, like 80 supply or so from trying to kill this base and trying to break into this base. So I feel like at this point I feel like I'm quite behind, because all I have are these units. What is it? 7 Zealots, 2 Archons, and 11 High Templar, which I'm probably going to morph into Archons. And this is where the importance of getting extra gas in Protoss vs Zerg comes in, because you need those gas intensive units such as Archons, Templar, and Reapers to combat the hive tech of the Zerg. You can see he's got Ultralisk Cavern already with the Chinese plating. So Zealots are going to do quite little. It's going to be all about the Archons and the Reavers. And now I've just moved this army up because I need to take this base out. Not only I need to kill him and prevent him from getting a 6 gas, I also need to take this gas for myself. But I look at this and there's just a lot of lurkers. I don't really think I can penetrate him. So I move back because I really don't want to lose this army. If I lose this army, it's game over. I lose all the presence that I had on the map. I've got this Dark Templar here, and I'm actually contemplating taking this 9 o'clock base because all he has is his overlord scouting it. And as I said before, in this matchup, I've got such a huge bank of minerals that I can just risk trying to take this base and trying to get the most out of this gas before he eventually kills it. Even though as well, lack of saturation on these minerals because I want to get the gas out to me. Yeah, so my army composition is actually not really that optimal against lurkers, but given the fact that I have so many minerals, I need to get just units out as soon as possible. So these lurkers, I just surround them, try and kill them off. But they've taken a lot of damage from the spine attacks. Thankfully though, I've broken through, and I'm going to kill off this base, I think. And then I see the Dark Swarm and it's like, oh no, I definitely cannot move up. Gotta wait for reinforcements. And here are my reinforcements. Gonna be morphing these High Templar soon. Okay, I didn't actually kill it, but the most important thing is that I killed off the majority of his lurker count from defending from this base. He's still got these lurkers here. And actually these lurkers here, what I think he should have done is just taken these lurkers off and then put him to help defend this base, because this base is mined out, this base is about to mine out. There's no reason for him to continue defending this base except for maybe to defend his tech, but you just rebuild his tech somewhere else. No, as well, I'm also trying to sneak another base here because I just need gas. I'm like so hungry for gas right now. Right, so yeah, I added another robotics facility because I just need reavers and shuttles. Also need shuttles to do some harassment. And now he's got the cows out, which may cause a problem, I'm not too sure. The problem is though, is that Ultralisks aren't really the damage dealers that you want to use. The main damage dealers are these Zerglings that with the adrenal glands upgrade. So here, I try to do some multitasking. I try to take out this base while doing a drop here. So the most important thing is I don't lose the observer. And here's the drop, which I'm very lazy with. But I guess he's also occupied trying to defend this base as well, that he's not really paying attention to his minimap. And he's not paying attention to the drop. I don't think I actually even hotkey that. No, I don't. And he's storms. And at this point in the game, drones that you lose are really, really bad because you want to keep your lava, you just want to spend your lava onto units. You don't want to be spending it onto drones because, like in StarCraft 2, it's a fixed timer on your lava spawning from the hatcheries. That's why we have the macro hatcheries that we're also accustomed to, because hatcheries, they only have 3 lava at one time, and if you build them on drones, it means that you have to wait a long time before you can replenish your army with units. So he's now down to 29 drones, and he hasn't even re-droned yet because he's so occupied trying to take out this base. Yeah, he kills it, but his Dark Templar's actually doing some nice damage. He's going to take out a few units. He's also going to take out this 12 o'clock as well, but I don't really care because all I wanted to do was just get the big gas up. I try to send this rescue team, and I think it deals with it. But then I see these ultras, I'm like, oh, it was a pretty bad idea. And now he's trying to move across that, because he knows that if he kills this base, he wins the game. So I have to move all of these units up to help defend. So there's so much happening. There's like this attack here, there's this attack here. Harassment that got shut down, he has to re-drone. This base gets killed, but I've successfully defended this base, and that's really important because it also distracts him from this base at 6 o'clock. If you look at his vision, he has absolutely no clue that it's up and running. And now it finally moves out these lurkers. It's at the point of the game where my army composition is trying to run over when he has these lurkers. If I decide to engage, yeah. Okay, I have to move back there. And now he's actually drone backed up. His drone's back up rather. Hasn't got this base saturated. He's got this base nicely saturated. As long as he has these two bases saturated, he's still in the game. Doesn't really matter about this base right now. As for me, you can see my gas count is so low. All I care about is just having gas so I can build those gas units. And this is actually a very nice patch for me surrounding this army. A lot of ultras caught off guard. And also catch these lurkers as well. I'm sure most of my zealots do die, but zealots are pretty cheap considering the fact that I have a lot of mineral income coming in. And I've also got a nice position here with my upholds that I'm going to be able to kill the majority of his zerglings that he decides to build. It's pretty much like a meat shredder. And at this point, I'm not really sure where I want to hit. Do I want to take out this base and kill all the hatcheries? Just checking this 9 o'clock base to make sure that he hasn't taken an expansion after I killed my previous expansion that was placed there. Looks like he wants to focus on taking this 12 o'clock base, trying to get that gas. And you can see how the dynamic of this matchup turns into the fact that it's all about area control and just trying to take the gases. Whoever has the more gas basically wins the game, which what I love about this matchup, as it forces you to make decisions in regards to territory. Yeah, here I'm trying to kill off this base, but for some reason I decide to right click on the main hatchery, if I recall correctly. Shut down this crack squad of troops that was defending this base. Yeah, so I sent these zealots in to try and snipe the hatchery, but these units spawn out. I'm not going to get the hatchery. And now I'm actually very low on resources, so I have to conserve everything that I can, as much as I can. I haven't transferred these probes yet, so they should be going here, but I guess I'm very lazy right now. And he actually got this base still defended, so still a very close game right now, despite the fact that I am 70 supply ahead. One fatal move could cost me the game. I'm actually pretty scared of this army. This is a lot of Hydrals, a lot of lurkers. If I don't position my battle right, then I just lose. And I can try and catch him off guard, you know, try catching units off guard because as a Protoss player, you want to be catching your opponent when they don't have the units come together. Poor shuttle control there from me, but at least I got a couple of Reavers out who die in the process. And I killed that. I have that skirmish in the middle of the map, and in my head I'm like, okay, I can probably take out this base now because he lost a lot of his workers and his high-tech units. Storm is not proactively touching Hydras, and now I can just run over and take over this base. And once this base goes down, if you can't defend this, I win the game. Price to defend. Yeah, at this point I feel pretty confident that I've won the game actually. Because I've got this random Reaver just taking pot shots. Taking out this base. The thing I was scared about is that these lurkers would just sit here and just contain me, but I have enough units up here that I could probably break through it. And I'm still macroing a nice bunch of units down in my main. See, we were like floating in the thousands in terms of minerals, but our income's so low now. But he's actually struggling quite badly to get units out. Yeah, so if he Dark Swarms this, then he can just easily take out the Nexus, but I guess he's quite yeah, and I moved his army forward and like, holy shit, that is a lot of Hydralisks, and there's no way I can actually break through. He gets a nice Plague off as well, and the way the AI is working out for me, so a few Archons do die. I actually still have these Corsairs from before, so I'm just gonna pick off these Overlords, which is quite a few moves that I did. Got another drop here. And as I said before, you don't want to be spending your lava, or in this case, you don't want to be spending your minerals onto drones to help you mine, so all these drones that I get are just worth their weight in gold. What's that? 2 kills. And this Zealot's just being a nuisance right now. He's got this very nice army just sitting here, but I'm just slowly eking forward with my High Templar, just trying to bit by bit take out all these lurkers that are keeping me contained. Yeah, and I think at this point I just stormed his army. I'm not too sure what I do right now. Okay, I'll move back. But I still got this this High Templar sitting here. He's so strapped for cash right now. 18 drones. Me, I'm still mining from this base, which is really important. This base is still mining as well, but it's about to be mined out. And all I'm thinking of at this point is I just need to secure this side of the map and I win the game. I secure the game. And I also take out this base as well. Even though it's not mining, it's a source of where drones can go. Yeah, so you compare the army counts right now. Mine is quite sizably healthy. Really nice storms. And at this point, once I kill that army, this game's pretty much over. Tries to do a counterattack here, but it's just way too many cannons. Look at it, 14 Hydralisks, 8 Zerglings, 3 Lurkers, 2 Defilers. It's nothing compared to this beefy army that I have of these Archon, Templar, Reavers. And I'm still macroing. That's the most important thing, is that I still have a steady amount of income that I'm macroing units from my gateways. I'm also getting the Reavers out as well. And because I have such high mineral count, I don't really care about the cost of scarabs. I just easily just take these two bases, take these two gases with my mineral count, just flood the base with cannons. And now it's trying to take this base, but it just has no money to take it. No minerals at all. And I'm gonna ×2 this because I'm approaching the end of the game. Watching the inevitable. Obviously, got these Reavers here for defense. This is Final Army. Storms. I don't care if I lose these units. These are my low-tech units. As long as I skirmish and take out his majority of his army with these low-tier units, then it doesn't really matter to me. If I lose these Archons and Reavers, though, that's another story. But I'm pretty confident that this army will be able to mop him up. Alright, so these Archons skirmishing around the map, just reinforcing with Zealots because he doesn't really have any Ultralisk or any tier 3 units right now. Yep. And once I attack in here, it should be game. Just too many Zealots to handle. As I do that, just try and resaturate these bases, just to double make sure. GG. And that is it. That's me versus nbaker on Circuit Breaker, one of the more longer drawn out games that I've played so far. If we look at the unit count, yeah, look, it's pretty typical of what this game is all about. Anyway, let me know on Twitter, guys, if you like this replay commentary, I guess you could say. Hopefully I can get some FP VODs going, some live streaming going once I get settled into my new house. Yeah, just give me a holler on Twitter or on Team Liquid if you like this replay commentary. Give some feedback. The Twitter's GTR1H. And on Team Liquid, I'm just GTR. Thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.